Hi, Stamper fans. Welcome to another Make It Monday. This is Nan Gerlitz, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Bloomington, Illinois, and I am here live on my Facebook page every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Time. So welcome, and as you pop on, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know if you're watching live or on the replay, and let me know where you're watching from. We have folks kind of all over the U.S. and sometimes from Australia here on the broadcast. So that's always super fun. So tonight I have a very easy little tip technique, whatever you want to call it, for you. And it's how to make a really pretty card when you just have greeting stamps. Because sometimes you just don't have the right image for what you're looking for, but you might have the right greeting. So this is a very easy way to do that. Let me go ahead and switch the camera view. All right. So yes, I just want to let you guys know that I'm here to help you connect with your people. So whether that is through gathering together to craft together, or maybe it's just through creating things to send to your people to connect with them. That's pretty much what I see my job as. So, hey, Cheryl, good to see you tonight. Glad you could make it. So these were the two cards from Friday Night Stamping this past weekend, and winner chicken dinner from my husband. And it was funny because as he handed me his card, he said, "Well, congratulations on your win." And I said, "No, cute bunny." And I was right. So yeah, he got overwhelmingly the most votes. I didn't even need to bother counting. So but yes, I do. I love this card. It's super simple, and which is why I think he thought, it was going to be overlooked, but it's very striking that way. And I wanted to point out that he used the very best trio punch. He used this corner punch part here, and this is on the retiring list. So it's on the last chance products list. So as of right now, it's still available. You definitely want to grab this if you don't have it already. It's a workhorse of a punch. So you've got this great corner cut off that I use a lot for like little greeting strips and things too. And then you've got this really cute, kind of curvy corner one, which I love to use for bookmarks and greeting panels, as well as card layers, all sorts of things. And then there's this little slot punch, which is not a corner one. As you can see, you've got these guides here that'll stop. Here, I'll show you. That will stop your card completely on the corner angle, right? And this one is a straight across. And there is a little notch right here on the end that'll show you exactly where the middle of that punch is, so you can tell. So it's great for, like, if you're making bookmarks and you want to put ribbon through, or ribbon through anything else for that matter. If you want to have a cool little decoration, even anytime you're looking for a little notch, it's a really great punch to have. So it's a 3-in-1 punch, really good idea. So check out the online store. The link is in the video description, so you can get that if you, like I said, if you don't have it already, it's a good one to get. All right, so tonight we are making my card. Sorry, everybody. Yes, so my idea was I had made one of these before, and I thought, oh, I loved that idea of I just had a greeting, like this is a happy birthday. So let's see what I can do with just a greeting. This one is from a new bundle that will be live May 1st. We're so close, called Unbounded Love. It's part of a suite of products that actually has another bundle with it as well, which has images and things like that. But I loved this one because it's got what we call a builder sentiment set. So, like hope is one word and one stamp, and then is believing in a brighter tomorrow is another stamp. So you can mix and match a lot of these phrases and sentiments and words to make whatever you want. And you can also use them as outside greetings and inside greetings on your card, which is super fun. Plus, I always love a mixture of kind of scripty fonts and type fonts. So this you know, kind of scratches that itch as well. And then it is bundled with a fabulous set of frame dies. Let me grab this out of here so we get rid of the glare. So you can see just so many, just oodles of different frame dies. And we're going to use this one tonight. And I will show you exactly how I did that cool little sentiment piece, because I was surprised that it didn't cut out, that it cut out the middle too. So then I had to punt. So I'll show you how to punt. All right, let's pop that aside and get to work, shall we? So all the measurements, as usual, are in the link in the video description, so you don't have to worry about writing anything down. I've got a full supply list there and the cardstock measurements. So some of the products I'm using tonight, like the bundle and the Summer Splash and Pretty in Pink cardstock, will not be available until May 1st. So if you click on that supply list, you might get a little bit of sticker shock because it says it's like $9,000. They always just throw that in there until it goes live. So it will not be $9,000. Because if it was, I'd have a really good month next month. All righty. So I decided to make a happy birthday card. This is, I already know, going to be my go-to happy birthday greeting. It's such a pretty scripty font. So, and we're only using one Stampin' Block tonight as well, which is block C. So usually, even on the photopolymers, even though I can see through them, I line up the bottom of the words with one of the grid lines, and then I'll line up my Stampin' Block with a grid line as well. And that way I know it's straight when I'm stamping, right? I'm a little fastidious when it comes to things like that. So this is one of our new in colors for the coming year, and it is Summer Splash. It goes fabulously with Coastal Cabana and Pool Party. And it's just a really nice bright color. I did use our the color wheel that we got at our demonstrator event to come up with these colors because they are complementary, which means they are opposite each other on the color wheel. So I knew they would go well. So we are just going to do some tone-on-tone stamping, which means I'm doing Summer Splash ink on Summer Splash cardstock. And I'm going to start off of it a little bit. This is a very juicy pad because it's very new. So as I use this, it is going to become a little lighter. So this is darker than it normally would be. And that's okay, especially for this application. So I'm trying very hard not to line up any of the happy birthdays like right with each other. And I'm kind of working in triangles to get some good coverage, because I don't want any of the H's to line up or the bottoms of the birthdays or anything like that. And they can overlap if you want to. You definitely want to stamp off the cardstock as well, because then it looks like you kind of had a big sheet of it and you just cut it up to make this card. I've got a little spot right there. That's pretty good. So you can just bake your own kind of paper. There's Joan. Hello, hello. Good evening from America. It's good to see you. All right, so we've got an all-over pattern, super easy. I have not done anything special. Anybody see where I put my card base? There it is. Man, I'm like 5 minutes in and I'm already losing things. So yes, when I originally started deciding on my colors on Friday night, I actually pulled out the ribbon that matches this Summer Splash, and then ended up not using it because I wanted to keep it super simple once I started to kind of get into things. I have to grab my Stampin' Chamois real quick. One of these days, I'm going to remember everything. Joan, this is like this. I was saying right before you popped on, this is going to be my go-to birthday because of that font. It is so pretty. It was one of the reasons I loved this bundle, all the pretty frame dies and then these gorgeous fonts in here. Oops, I don't know why I took that off. Did the same thing Friday. I need to use it again. Okay, so we've got our base all taken care of. Next, I am going to cut out my frame because I don't know quite where to stamp on the pink until I do this part. So we have our little mini cut and emboss machine. Now with the mini, it's the same kind of principle as the large machine. You have your base, which is plate number 1, and then you have a cutting plate, plate number 2, and then you're going to put your cardstock and your die down. When it's a die that has a straight, flat, end like this, you want to angle it a little bit because it will have a little more give going through the machine, a little less resistance. And then when you put your top plate on, you want to make sure that it is not lined up with your other plate. So see, I've got a little bit of a gap there because that also will make a difference when it's going through the machine. It will have less resistance. On the larger machine, it doesn't make as much of a difference. You can line those plates up and just butt them up just fine, and it's fine, but there's more area, more surface area. So it has to do with physics, I'm sure. The reason why you can't line them up on this smaller one. So just a little tip. So if you're getting this small one, or if you already have it and you're a little frustrated because you haven't been able to get things through, that's why. Offset them just a little bit and you should be able to just fine. All right, so this one, we could use that die brush I had. I didn't bring it over with me, so we're just going to use the pokey end of our Take Your Pick tool, which is always with me. And they call these little holes release holes. And there's 2 on this corner here too, on those corners. And that will peel that cardstock up, because I don't want to rip it, of course, after I went through all the fuss of cutting it. And then you've got all these little pieces in between these leaves. You can poke them, you can brush them, you can peel them out with your nails if you have nails. I just cut mine last night, so it probably won't work. And this is why I usually have music on when I'm stamping. So, because at this point, I'm singing and dancing along while I'm doing this, and it's not tedious at all. But again, if you have the die brush tool that fits on the Take Your Pick, it's a matter of a minute. You just do it while it's still in the die. It'll take out all these little pieces and it'll release the cardstock from the die. Isn't that pretty? Like just that, if I had an open space, like if I had stamped that one in black just like that, that would be really pretty too. But I did want to have that dash of pink with the complementary colors. A couple of little spots of cardstock in here. And you do want to get those out because if you have a buildup of little cardstock, then it's going to be harder to cut after a while. It's not necessary to do it every time, but probably every other time is good. So you don't have too many layers. All right, so we've got that done. And then I decided, well, what if I cut the pink in there, right? So we can grab that die, and I'm going to line up the pink so that I'm not really getting much of the leaves. I just want this inner piece. So we'll just tape that down. And our handy dandy die cut machine again. It's already angled for me. It's nice because all of these frame dies from this set will fit in the mini, no problem. So unless you're using like a large embossing folder or something, you can get away with just the mini cut and emboss for this. And there we have that perfect little pink piece. And I will get the cardstock out of that later, so you don't have to watch me do that again. So now I will take my nice see-through photopolymer stamp, and I will take my Memento ink, my black, because I wanted it to really stand out. You absolutely could have done this in Summer Splash as well. I wanted it just to have a little bit of a difference. So now I can see through and I can see that I'm stamping that perfectly in that pink area. Voila! All right, so now the next challenge that I came across was that, well, I wanted this to fit in there, but then I wanted the whole thing to be popped up on dimensionals. So that was going to be a little difficult, right? So what I did was I turned it over and I used a little bit of tear and tape all around to just kind of pop these together. You could probably use Scotch tape as well. I just happen to have tear and tape in my drawer all the time, so. And you want to push that white up close to the pink as well as you're doing this so you don't have a gap, because otherwise you'll have, when you go to this side, you'll feel adhesive and it might like stick to the inside of the envelope or something if you're mailing it. You don't want that. I'm going to do this end piece as well. And it is a very skinny white border, so you just want to get that tape right up to the edge so you're catching it, but most of it's going to land on the pink. And then they're together. You don't worry about that part. Next, we go for our dimensionals. We are having to break our pattern finally. And with this, I decided to go like just a teensy bit on these leaves so that I could kind of hold those in place as well. Put a couple over here, and that should be good. I do have a couple of alternatives to show you as well, using other stamp sets and other colors, and so to see kind of the difference you can make just with this same idea. And now when you're doing this, so you can either decide where you're putting this first and stamp your background around it, or you can just kind of say, where does it look good? Actually, I think it kind of looks good over here this time. So that's what we'll do. And then we've got our In Color, what are these? In Color Shimmer Gems, which have the Summer Splash and the Pretty in Pink. And I decided I wanted them on the Summer Splash for my card on Friday. But maybe we'll put them up here on the greeting. So let's use the Summer Splash this time. So we'll grab a large one and put that down here. We'll grab a couple of the small ones. Put those over here. We'll just accent a different part of the card this time. And there you go. Just a couple of little variations. What do you think? Pretty easy, right? I absolutely love these frames, and you can see that there's a lot of different, like this one's the same kind of thing. You've got some really cool flowers incorporated. They do have some extra leaves that match that die that I used, and then we've got a couple of layering circles and others that will fit inside. I love these. Actually, these would be really cute if you are a scrapbooker for like heritage albums with, you know, the black backgrounds and the old time photos, right? Maybe do your journaling and things in some of these pretty frames. That would look really nice. All right, I promised you alternatives. Thanks, Joan. So what I did next was I took some very vibrant colors. I took our Berry Burst and Granny Apple Green, and I used our Something Fancy bundle. And so our Something Fancy bundle has dies. This particular die has 3 sizes, you can see. So I really built that up, then used our little shimmery pearls as accents on that. And then I went a much softer version, and I thought, well, if you didn't have a die cut machine and maybe you didn't have punches even, here's one you could do with just your trimmer. So we've got Lemon Lolly and the Highland Heather. Very vibrant. Oh, you thought it was coordinating paper. That's so funny. Yeah, you could totally stamp your own paper. You can do that with images too, obviously, but it's nice to know that when you're trying to make, like, maybe you're making a sympathy card, this would be a really good one for sympathy cards as well, because it's not always easy to come up with an image that isn't too kind of, I don't know, joyful or, whatever, right? Don't we all have trouble making sympathy cards, I think, although we have an abundance of florals, so that's super helpful. But yes, this is the perfect kind of thing to do for that. So yeah, stamp your own paper. Super fun. So we've got a thank you, we've got a birthday, we've got a thinking of you, change out the colors, change out the greeting, and boom, you're good to go. So for this one, all I did was layer a little strip of Highland Heather. These were both rectangular, and then I just sliced them in a diagonal on my trimmer. You could use scissors as well. So adds a little bit of interest to it, but you didn't need any fancy tools or machines or anything like that. So pretty cool, huh? I did want to remind you, up to 60% off on those last chance products, but that's only through the 30th. Thanks, Joan. And every day I check, there's more and more that are gone. So you do want to make sure that you are checking that out. And if there's anything that you love, you want to make sure to grab it before the 30th of April or before it runs out, quite frankly. So hop to that store right away. The other thing I wanted to do was thank everyone that ordered from me in this month of April. When we were in Houston last month, they gave us a sales challenge, was to better our best of last April in sales. And then we get to earn a free pack of designer paper that non-demonstrators can't get. So we can only get it, and then we'll be invited to a virtual crafting experience with Stampin' Up! And we will make projects with that paper. And thanks to the people that ordered this month, I have broken my sales record for last year. And so I officially earned that paper and that little virtual getaway. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I will, of course, share those cards and that paper with you virtually, at least, so you can see what we've got. Super fun. I love being a part of this company. They always come out with some great incentives and treats and things like that for us. Thanks, Cheryl. All right. Well, I think that's about all I have for you tonight. That was a quick one. So if you learned anything new here tonight, I'd love it if you'd share this video so your friends and family could learn something as well. And until next week, I'm still Nan Gerlitz. Happy stamping.